Buddy, this is Medicine Man once again early this morning, and we're going to talk about the ancestors and why you can't connect. You know what I mean? For a lot of time, for the most part, a lot of people actually in the spiritual community, when they're working with their spirits and when they're working with the ancestors, they just don't know how to connect. And that's one of the main questions that a lot of people been asking me. It's like, how do you really actually connect with the ancestors? Is connected with the ancestors more than a glass of water? Is connected with the ancestors are more than a candle? Is it more than a lamp? Is it more than oils, roots, and herbs? Well, yeah, the answer to that question is absolutely yes. Connected to the ancestor is deeper than the ingredients that people use in their root work. You see, your root work has to be charged. Your root work has to be empowered by your ancestors. So if you're not walking with any real ancestral spirits, then for the most part, you're not going to be connected to your bloodline. Because the whole purpose of connecting with your ancestors is connecting with your bloodline and your ancestral spirits that live in you and has lived in your bloodline for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. You see? So when we go to connect, we got to connect in the right way. We can't connect with fantasy. Fantasy, romanticizing, and imagination is not connecting to your ancestors, okay? These are real living beings. Life. The ancestors is life. Life is not only breathing, speaking, seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, and smelling. Life is more than that. The ancestors, their mode of life, their mode of living is all spiritual. That's why we are spiritual when we are alive, and we are spiritual in the afterlife. Because our spirituality here is in constant development. We got to keep developing ourselves. So we got to go through these obstacles. We got to face challenges. We have to be up against things that would actually stop us from fully developing ourselves into the highest potential being that we are struggling and striving to become. You see, for the most part. So when we connect with our ancestral energy, the ancestral energy is to be used for us to manifest our highest goal and potential in life. Okay? Not for us to try to manifest all of our mundane and manifest all of our selfish goals. Because our selfish goals are goals that we set for ourselves that only benefits ourselves. Doesn't benefit the family. Doesn't benefit the children. Doesn't benefit the community. It just benefits you. So those individual goals, your ancestors are not even down with that. Your ancestral bloodline energy is only for the preservation and development of the bloodline. You see, so what I'm saying is, in layman terms, when we have somebody in our family, for example, that's a crackhead and they running around getting high and stuff like that, the ancestral energy that transforms from that person to their children, and then they having disruptive children, and then their disruptive children have disruptive children. See, that's a pattern. And this is what people call generational curses. Because the pattern of dysfunction, it's the pattern of criminal behavior, it's the pattern of indecisiveness, it's the pattern of depression. See what I'm saying? It's the pattern that is locked within people's DNA and is programmed. These behaviors, these emotions are programmed deep into our DNA. So it's deep into our bloodlines. What we do is bring out from within our bloodline, bring out from within our ancestral power, within our ancestral realm, we bring out the parts of ourselves that's responsible for healing, and then we bring out the parts of ourselves that's responsible for elevating our spiritual development. Those parts of ourselves are ancestral because the willpower to develop yourself, the determination to determine yourself comes from deep within. You don't pull determination off of the surface of yourself. You pull that from deep within your bloodline, because that is where the energy actually lives and dwell for you to tap into and pull out and use it to your everyday life. Now, there's levels to this thing. Definitely levels. There are surface levels, there's intermediate levels, and there's advanced levels, deep down inside. But when we connect, we have to connect first on the surface level. There's a lot of people when they say, well, how do I connect with my ancestors? And then they go into, well, I want to get an egg on stick. I want to get this. I want a pot. I want this. I want the spiritual items. I need the spiritual tools. You get all of these things and don't know how to work them. Why? Because the power is not in the tools. It's not. The power is in your ability to connect to your ancestral spirit. And that happens from within. Because once you connect with your spirits within, those spiritual tools becomes just that. Tools that you and your spirit use to channel energy in certain directions. Not that these tools have the ultimate power. The ultimate power is in your ability to connect with real spirits. See, for the most part, people sit around and pretend and make up spirits. They make up spiritual experiences instead of trying to connect with the real ones. Now, everybody got a different path. I'm well aware of that. I'm well aware. We all are. We all are well aware of that. And some people's path may be necromancy. Some people may be a graveyard walker. You know, for the most part, some people might be a swamper. You know, down in the Geechee culture, we call a swamper somebody who walked through the woods, who walked through the swamp and the forest, and they know the elements and everything. They know it. It's natural. That's a swamper, a root man. But as we develop these skills and connect with our ancestors, we grow. And see, that's the point. We ain't making it up. We tapping into it. You see, there is a difference. When you have to look for your spirituality and search all over for your spirituality, there's something wrong. Now, when we search for our spirituality, the beginning point of searching for it is within. Many of us look for external factors to justify what we feel inside. You see, we cannot look for nothing out there to justify what's in here. When people use this word, confirm. You know, oh, that's a confirmation for me. That's a confirmation. I look at the science of confirmation. Confirmation means to confirm. All right, what are you confirming? You're confirming something you already know. All right, you already know what's going on. You just don't trust your own discernment. And that's the point. When you connect with your ancestral energies, your discernment, that intuitive voice inside you, it magnifies in truth. So when that little voice tells you, don't do it, it's telling you with truth and force, don't do it, because this is going to happen. And you'll see it taking forth, unfolding right in front of you. Your ancestral spirits, your spirits going to show you this. They're going to unfold it and they're going to show you why they say don't do this. And when you look at it, you're going to say, well, I better not do that for real. I better fall back off that. Because if I do this and I continue to do this, what's going to end up happening is this right here, exactly what the spirit is showing. But because we don't have discipline, but because we haven't developed a high level of discipline within our own selves, what has happened is we challenge our own discernment. So we'll see what's going on. We'll feel what's taking place. We'll smell what's taking place. We're going to hear what's taking place, but we don't listen. And the reason we don't listen is because we do not have discipline. And the reason we don't have discipline is because we are unsure of how to connect with our ancestors. Because once we learn and once we are assured of how we connect our ancestors, we don't have to challenge. We don't have to debate. We don't have to question our own discernment. See, once we connect with our ancestors, we don't have to seek confirmation. For what? Because the ancestors will confirm everything for you. You don't need to call and get a reading. You won't need to call and have that work done. Know why? Because your ancestors will confirm the feelings, the thoughts, the emotional mood swings, the ideas that you have. They'll confirm it. And they'll show you signs and omens in your life. The whole thing on this spiritual path and spiritual journey is being able to decipher those signs and them omens. Being able to break it down. Being able to say, why am I dreaming about a fire truck in my dreams? Have to know the symbolism, what that fire means, what that truck means to you. You can't get the definition from a book. It has to apply to your life, your situation, and your culture. And this is what the ancestors and connecting with them do for you. They awaken your intuition. They expand your awareness. So once your awareness is expanded, you begin to be aware of things that's beyond your physical presence. And when I say that, what I mean is that when you're sitting down, you can be 3 rooms down and you can feel what's taking place 3 rooms down from you. You can see what's taking place 3 or 4 rooms down from you because your consciousness, your spirit is beyond your body now. The more you connect with your ancestors, the deeper you connect, the larger and your consciousness expands. Because your consciousness is not one, it becomes many. When you accept, embrace the power of the ancestors flowing through your bloodstream. That's what it is. So some of the methods that people use to connect to the ancestors are based on their personal experiences. Like I said before in previous videos and classes, the power of the Bakulu stick, the Agon stick, to centralize and absorb all of your ancestral power. Absorb that power and possess and hold that power. And it's used as a tool to call forth and bring out your ancestors. One of the most interesting tools that really comes from ancient Africa, of course, the ancestral staff. We also saw that Moses in the Bible, Moses had a staff, Moses and Aaron, and they took their staff and it said that he put his staff into the ground. You know, he took his staff and made water come from the rocks. You know, he made water come from the rocks with the staff. Well, that story in the Bible is symbolic of the power of the Agun stick, the power of the Bakulu stick. For when Moses, the Obeah man, went in front of Pharaoh and dropped his stick turned into what? What did it say? The Bible said that his stick turned into a snake. You see, this is ancient African serpent power. You see, this ain't ancient India serpent power, this ancient African serpent power. That's why when you look into Africa and you see the majority of the African sticks, you see them with serpents around it. This is the science of the serpent power, the science of the Kundalini that's in Africa. The science of the Chi that's in Asia come from the science of the Agun stick, the ancestral stick that's wrapped with the serpent power. By tapping it, you call forth the ancestors. When you open up your 7 chakras, you calling forth the ancestors. Because that's science. comes from the science of the agon stick with the ancestral stick, the oldest science known to mankind. This is medicine man. Y'all already know how we getting down. It's medicine man. It's early in the morning. I'm gonna get me some chamomile tea, some lavender tea, kick back and relax. I got some black seed oil. I'm about to drink it up, get my day started, get the energy flowing, and I want y'all to be blessed. I want everybody to be blessed and prosper. So do that for yourself today, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace.